courthouse clock said it was 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call this December meeting of the Blount County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Roger, if you'd call the roll, please.
Larry Chesney. Here. Bruce Stamrow.
Here.
Stan Hedrick. Here. Ron King's not here. Rob Walker.
Here. If there's no discussion, there's a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes.
So moved.
All right. Tonight we have 3 variances, no special exceptions, no appeals. The first variance is on Helton Road, 349 Helton Road.
The applicant is requesting a variance from the side setback requirements at 349 Hilton Road. Property is identified on tax map 48, parcel 124.02, and is zone C, commercial. The required setback's 10 feet. The applicant is requesting to build a carport 2 feet from the side property line. They abut a commercially zoned property that has a gas station located on it, which is one of the reasons why they would like to place this structure in the proposed location. The applicant states that it would act as a buffer as well as serving as carport. And then, I think I gave you a diagram.
Yes.
That red is going to be proposed concrete, and then the square there, that's the proposed 24 by 41 carport. And the applicant would like to keep that redbud tree also.
Is there anyone here in favor of this variance who would like to speak? Yes, sir. If you would come up to the microphone, tell us your name, please, sir.
Yes, sir.
Your name, please.
Yeah. My name's Dennis Morgan, and my wife and I live there at 349 Helton Road, which used to be known as Lim's Corner. It's Lim's old house, right behind that Aztec gas station. We bought that home in 2001, and since that time, the noise level from that Aztec gas station has got louder, and there's a lot of people that go in back of that gas station to use the bathrooms. They're using the bathroom if somebody's in it. And you can see that right from our dining room and the kitchen where my wife does the dishes, and she's kind of sick of it. So, and we need a place to park our vehicles. We got a car, truck, a trailer, and a golf cart. So we thought maybe we could do 3 things here at once, because we'd cover the backside of the carport about 2/3, so we couldn't see it, and hopefully be a buffer and knock noise off. And then we planted a tree over on the left, which is a redbud tree. It's been there. My wife had to cut my leg off and me cut down that tree. So I'd like to come off 3 feet off that tree, which would only give me 2 feet to come off the property line. And that's why I was asking for a variance.
Okay. Is there anyone in opposition of this variance? Hearing none, we'll open the floor up for discussion from the board then.
Sir?
Your white fence,
Yes, sir?
is it on the property?
It's almost. It's a little inside the property line.
Do you have a survey of the property?
What you see there is the only thing I've got.
Rest of the board, the reason I asked that question, we had an issue, multiple issues, where when we got that close to the property line, somebody else came in and they did a property survey, and we found that somebody's garage was on somebody else's property. So when we're getting within 2 feet, we're getting seriously close to potentially having an issue, unless we know where the property line is.
I use the property corner stakes to run that white fence.
Did you have a survey when you purchased the land? You know, or
I think, no, we used the one that was already available, which was that one that you've got a copy of.
the reason this issue is, we had a family come in, and the first person who first sold them the land, and the person next door, both said, here's the property line.
Mhm.
So they, both owners said they agreed. And this person built a garage based on what these 2 property owners told. Well, this person then sold it, and a young couple came in and had property surveyed, So that's why I'm concerned that if we don't have, we're giving somebody 2 feet, and we don't have a survey.
Well, Wayne Edmondson owns all the property around there, and he hasn't complained. He looked at me when I did it, and he's helped me rake leaves and everything else, so,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
if you don't have a survey, you get within 2 feet, better make sure we're not giving them a permit.
But that's the only survey I've got, is what you've got.
Do you go to the barn back behind where they pull the pipe barn down?
No, that's Edmondson's. He only let me have about 3/4 of an acre. He wouldn't sell me the old barn. I said, it goes with the house.
Do you own the shed back behind it, between it and the barn?
Now, that's, yeah, what's left, that's his.
So you just got the house, that's the only building?
The house, yeah, and I've got a little chicken coop back there, and a little building to the side, an old garage.
But there's an attached garage on your house, back, right?
No, it's not attached to the house. There's a little garage, I got a workshop, but where this red is, that's an old structure, and that's about ready to cave in on me, and I'll have to eventually replace that.
So why do you want to build a structure that close to the line other than
Just
buffer where you?
buffer is the main thing, and I thought, well, we could use it to park our vehicles in too, because we don't have anything.
But you got the chicken house and the other structure back there that's about,
Yeah, but my vehicle won't fit under it. It's not 8-foot level, it's lower down. Like I said, the 2x in there are just about to fall down anyway.
you're gonna let it fall,
No, I'm gonna try to fix it.
build high.
Because it was a regular garage, a one-car garage that looked like he added something onto it, like a 20-something feet out, but it's not the normal height. I couldn't even get one of my cars under it at all.
How much would it cost us to move that tree?
To do what? Move that tree?
Move,
Oh,
take it, move.
I have no idea.
Because if you move the tree, you move it back over and line up with the other side of that storage, barn you got there, and you didn't have a 10-foot setback.
Well, it's like I said, it's 29 feet to the side of that tree from the property line.
You know, I hate to do something like this and make a buffer, and put you somewhere on the side, now in 3 years you got a buffer. That's one of the main reasons you want to do it.
Well, you can imagine you wouldn't want to be sitting at your dining room table seeing people go to the bathroom in the back of that store over there.
So the fence is on the property line, that you know of?
So, I'm sorry.
The fence is on the, as you know it, the fence is
It's
on the property
on
line?
my property, yeah. It's right close to the line. Because they use the iron stakes, you know, that are in the ground for the survey.
So if you move the redbud tree toward the road, then you can move your structure away from the fence to where you line up with that other storage building.
But I have another tree up there. There's no room for that red bud to move it up.
Yeah, there is no tree.
Yeah, there's no room.
But you do have other options if you went in and repaired that current garage. Spend money on that, but you're gonna spend money on this carport too, so would the other way be better?
Well, they're still not doing two of the things I want to eliminate, which is a noise buffer and not watching people going to the bathroom. That won't eliminate that at all.
Little legal cycles about that problem in 2 years.
Yeah, I could do that, but I want a place to park too.
There's a huge tree.
Pardon?
There's a huge tree just on the other side of that fence.
I know, it's a beautiful tree.
I think it's 4 feet in diameter.
It is big, yeah.
Well, it hangs over the
It's a beautiful tree.
discussion? The chair will entertain a motion.
Make no motion at all on that?
Well, I think it's consistent with special exception. If you don't take any action within 60 days, it automatically acts as an approval.
You know, I can try to come off 2 feet off that tree and 3 feet off the property line. But I don't think I'd come any more than that without killing that tree.
Mr. Morgan, the storage building right there,
Yes, sir.
how far is that off the property line?
I think it's around 5 feet.
You say 5 feet?
Yes, sir.
If you move your proposed building over to align with that, to where you're now not encroaching any more than you already are, you're saying that would eliminate the bedroom?
Yeah. It'd put it right,
You have to move,
pardon?
or you have to move,
I wouldn't do it if I had to move it.
pardon?
I wouldn't do it if I had to move it.
Now, you know, Mom's not having nobody.
The what?
Mom's not having nobody.
Yes, I can't touch that tree.
I guess that answers that question.
But she doesn't want to cut down, but she might really like to move.
Yeah. I don't think so.
We could get it surveyed and see if it's within specification.
We'll make that as a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we have it that he has it surveyed and make sure, and then or come back in and, can you do that, Roger? Come back in and, on this, within the next 60 days? That way we would know for sure whether.
Make a motion to defer it to the next meeting and with an accurate survey representing property lines.
That would be yeah.
But, say you do that, then we still have an issue, are we gonna give a 2-foot setback, right?
Right, we still have that issue, but we will know if in fact is on the property line. Maybe it's the other way and you don't need the 2 foot.
What would you give him? Would you give him 2 foot? Would you give him 5 foot? Would you give him 8 feet? Would you be happy if 2 foot?
Let's see where it is.
If we do that, I'd like to know exactly how far that other storage building is off the property. That'll tell us that.
We would add that in the motion too.
Well, that would show up on a survey.
Yeah.
You making that as a motion then?
I am.
All right, is there a second?
Make sure I understand, you're proposing to defer till next month, and we're asking for a survey to confirm where the property line is
Relative to the fence, correct.
to this request and the existing storage.
Exactly.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Comments? Can we make comments on the motion?
Sure.
Yeah.
If he does that, and if he goes to the expense of surveying it, and if he still wants 2 feet, I think would we give him 2 feet? And I got a problem with that.
You have a problem with that?
With 2 feet. So, do you wanna put him through the expense of having a survey and still?
Not approve it.
Well, that's why I brought the motion up.
Well, no, I'm
Because we
not.
our discussion hinged on, originally on, we were concerned about where the fence was located, whether it was on the property line or not.
I share Stanley's concern about giving a 2-foot setback. I share that concern.
We've got a motion and a second. You want to vote on that and then?
But if you do nothing, it's approved 2 months, right?
Then you gotta make a motion next month.
Okay. Motion
Ready to
been-
vote? On the motion to defer with bringing back a current survey. Bruce Damrow,
Yes.
Larry Chesney,
Yes.
Stan Hedrick, Rob Walker.
Yes.
Motion approved.
So, thank you. If you can come back with a survey, that way we'll kind of know where you stand.
Okay.
Next variance tonight is a setback on East Broadway.
The applicant is requesting a variance from the front building setback requirements at 2329 East Broadway. This property is identified on tax map 37J, Group H, parcel 9.10, and is zone C commercial. The required front setback at this location is 40 feet. The church is requesting a 30 feet front setback for the enclosing of the front entrance of the church and will include additional footage. The scope of the work will include ramps for the disabled and will relocate the parking spaces in the front to the rear sides of the church, rear and sides of the church. They also plan on adding a vegetative buffer along the front in order to help keep pedestrian traffic out of the road right-of-way. And I wasn't able to reduce this, but I've got a drawing of what they want to do. It's big, so I'll just pass it down for you guys to look at. And it's that very front section up there. They actually show the required setback, and then the setback they're requesting there are the dotted lines.
Is there anyone in favor of this variance who would like to speak?
My name is Rick Stash. I'm a member of the church and also the project lead for the design team. What we propose to do is, over the years, we've seen some issues with backup parking and movement, crowd movement. But more importantly, we've kind of lost a lot of handicapped people that don't have the ability to get to the front of our church. We have to have them go all the way in the rear, come all the way through the church, through the elevator, and come up to the sanctuary. Sanctuary doesn't have the necessary items. The other issue is we would like to have two bathrooms for handicap right at the front of the church. We've had a couple occasions where they've come in, they needed to go to the bathroom before going to church, and they don't want to go through the sanctuary to get to the church. So this is something we've thought about for a long time, and now we finally feel like we're in a position. Well, when I started doing the drawings, we found out that we would encroach a little bit on the setback, not the property line, but the setback. So to use the gentleman before us, the term, I'm trying to do several things at once here, provide a little protection. If you all remember, the old Householder Church was right next door, on the side, turned the other direction. That was the original church. It's been leveled and grassed, and quite frankly, we haven't used it for anything. Well, we thought, let's go ahead and put the parking that we would lose in the front on the side. Okay, now that we have that side, we want that ramp approach coming to the main sanctuary. And by getting that main sanctuary available, we think we're going to be able to preach and sermon to the rest of the elderly that we've lost over the years, maybe members, maybe not members. But it's an outreach that we feel like it's real important. And we're doing all this in kind of a one step, get it all done type of effect. Do you have any questions about that? Yes. That didn't go over very well, by the way, with a couple of the people. Yeah. Well, no, either you back out or you back in. Either way, it's not a good situation. And we had some naysayers. They said they've been parking there for 20 years and you're taking their parking spot. But in the overall picture, we think the presentation in front of the church will be much more appealing to a larger crowd. And as we've been saying at our church, we're not trying to take care of one person, a group of people. We're trying to take care of the entire church, make it safer, get handicapped. Part of the issue that Roger may not know about is we're going to get some emergency lighting up there and things like. We're going to bring the church up to a little bit more presentable and safer place to be.
Did you agree not to take away the assigned seat in the sanctuary?
I'm sorry. I have the same problem. I can't hear.
You took away
It's on the envelope, ain't it?
you took away your parking place. Did you agree not to take away the assigned seat in the sanctuary?
Well, we just decided that the other day, that we were going to take some spaces away, and we thought, no, that would be a little bit too much inside the sanctuary. That's the reason why we didn't go and remodel in the sanctuary. We're trying to remodel a little bit. We thought if we took that away, they wouldn't move. They would just disappear.
Change is a good thing. It's
I
just
have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
They're doing away with the parking in the front. This is in the county, right, not the city?
Correct.
That's correct?
Mhm.
Is there any long-term plans that says that that part of that road would require sidewalks? That they have to plow?
Not in the county. The cities do have some requirements for sidewalks for new developments. They couldn't retroactively, I wouldn't think, I know the county couldn't retroactively go back and require sidewalks. And I don't think,
This doesn't mess up anything that somebody has, like John Lamb and long-range planning, maybe there's gonna be a sidewalk down through there.
no, generally sidewalks are put in right-of-ways. So they would, if there was gonna be a county sidewalk put in, it would, which I don't think that's gonna be an issue, but, it would be in the right-of-way. So they would either have to do one of two things, use what right-of-way they got left, which probably isn't a whole lot, or acquire more right-of-way from the property owners.
I just hate to see them move something really nice in the front and let's come by, oh, by the way, we're gonna do a sidewalk.
Actually, that's
I
one
don't
of our.
know of anything.
That's one of our concerns. We don't want to be on the highway with, that's how we are walking right now. That's exactly where I walk. I walk right on the paving of the right-of-way of the highway. So what we're going to do is we're going to put access inside the parking lot that we're building so that we are apart and away from somewhere in the order, I think it's on that drawing there, somewhere in the order of about 20, 30 feet. So we have a landscape buffer to keep us away from the highway. What we're really trying to get away from that whole thing, both parking, access, people, everything, and provide our own inside on our property.
Before we get too far involved, is there anyone in opposition to this who would like to speak? I didn't think there would be, but I thought I'd better make sure.
They haven't touched the seats yet, so they're okay.
Yeah. Any other
None of the
discussion?
people that are losing their parking showed up, so.
Yeah.
Doing it dead of the night.
There's no more discussion. We'll entertain a motion.
Second?
Okay. Bruce Damrow,
Yes.
Larry Chesney, Stan Hedrick, Rob Walker.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
The third variance tonight on the agenda is a setback on 7915 Carnes Road in Townsend.
The applicant is requesting a variance from the minimum front building setback requirements at 7915 Carnes Road It's lots D7 and D8 of Little River campsites, more commonly known as Dark Island. The property is identified on tax map 096 ED, Group C, parcels 43 and 44. The property is zoned to R1, and the required setbacks in this development is 15 feet from the edge of the roads or the property line, whichever is greater. It is unclear at this time how much variance is needed, but it appears to only be a couple of feet off of the road. If you look at that one picture I gave you, the road ends at the back of this house. There's a retaining wall that's just about flush with the back of this structure. There's not going to be traffic going beyond that point. The applicant started construction without obtaining any permits, and this was brought to our attention by a complaint. Upon inspection, it was noticed that there are setback issues. The applicant has not applied for a permit and is asking for a variance to leave the structure in the current location. This lot is at the end of the private road and would not have any traffic going past. The applicant has also indicated that he is building this structure in place of an existing shed that covered a camper. I asked that he provides some evidence to document the location of that structure. He does own 2 lots side by side, and this structure may actually span those lots. If that is the case, another variance would have to be issued, or that lot line would need to be removed. I told you I would have updates. I've not heard anything else back. Most, if not all, the existing structures in development appear to be out of compliance with our current setbacks. Most have been in place well beyond the adoption of our zoning regulations. I say this to just establish the nature of this community.
Since you all are the only ones left, I figured you all are probably in favor or in opposition of this variance. Is there anything that you would like to add to what Roger just told us?
My name's Bill Curtis, and the lane that we're on is not Carnes Road. We're not a county road. It's just a campground road. So I don't know if that makes any more bearing on the deal or not.
You have a POA guidelines of rules and regulations?
And I don't know what you're referring to.
Your community, do you have any guidelines of setback requirements or anything like that?
No, it's just a campground, and a lot of people built little cabins, and we are trying to, stay within line with everybody else, mainly. Everything's in a line down that little lane, so that was the footprint that we had, and that's what we're trying to build back.
How long have you owned that property?
About a year ago, last August.
And it's at the end of Dark Island Road? At the very end?
It's at,
No. As you come in off Carnes, there's just a few short little, roads isn't really good identifier, but they're little lanes. This is what this is. His is the first one to the right there. So if you come in, it'd be the first right, and it's about, maybe 4 lots deep?
something like that.
It goes about 4 lots back and it ends.
Yeah, so that's on the higher ground, isn't it? That's on the higher ground. That doesn't flood too bad there, does it?
No, we got the survey for the elevation, and we're 3 foot above, so we're good on the elevation.
What kind of structure was there before? A carport or what?
It was an old rough shed type structure, and we had a camper sitting under it, but a tree had fallen on it, and it was real bad shape. So that made our decision. We wanted to go ahead and do something different.
wall, as you go down that road and you turn right into your little lane, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And there's houses on both sides of that little lane.
Right.
And in this picture, there's a trailer parked there and there's a retaining wall behind it. See the retaining wall? Is that your retaining wall?
I'll give you a picture.
Yeah, that's the end of the property back here.
So that, have you had that surveyed?
Well, we just went by what stakes was already there from previous.
That other picture showed it, the other house is adjacent, it's like you can stand between the two houses and touch both of them. Is that your house also?
Let me give you the second picture.
Oh, this is, oh, I know this house over here.
That's 9 foot away.
9 feet?
Yeah.
So the time you get your roofs on there and overhang, you're gonna have 5 feet between the roofs.
Well, let's see,
But that's not your house.
no, this is somebody else's over here on the right.
So that says both houses, if the property line's right smack dab in the middle, both houses have a 3-foot setback. Right?
Well, if you got 9 feet between them right now from sidewalk.
Like you overhang the roof, that's 2 feet, that,
Yeah.
so you got,
Setbacks are from vertical wall face, they don't count eaves and
so
overhangs.
you can overhang, okay. All right, so it's 4.5. If property line's exactly in the middle. In all fairness to him, as you're driving back through there, the house just in front of him actually sticks out further than this guy.
Yeah,
If
Yeah.
you drive back through there, the guy right in front of you has a porch out and a pole that's further in the road than he is. But my concern is, I don't know that either one of them is on the property line. I mean, on their property. I don't know how, with it this close.
and the lots, what are they, 40 by 60 lots?
The ones on this back row are 40 by 60.
And you've got 2 of them.
Well, we've got 40 by 60 is all we've got.
You just got
That's
40 by
total,
60.
40 by 60 is our total land, yeah.
But it shows up as you got two lots on the tax records.
Yeah, they're split on the tax records, but it's just one lot, yeah, as far as we're concerned.
So, well, so that property line's no longer there? Because that could be a whole other issue that we could get to. If that property line's there, we have to recognize it with setbacks, and that issue could be taken care of by an official survey combining the two. But that's just a whole other,
Guys, I think we've got to know where this house sits on his property. In my opinion.
The next to the last paragraph in the explanation is most all of the existing structures in this development appear to be out of compliance.
With setbacks.
Yeah, with setback.
What's that?
So they're probably,
And maybe in other ways too.
could be, yeah.
Unless they're surveyed, you don't know. He's not out of line with the other people there,
Right, right.
but they haven't asked us for variance. What we've got to deal with,
Those could have been grandfathered.
absolutely, absolutely. What we've got to deal with is what we know today. And what we know today is he needs to be on his property, and we need to know, are we giving him a 6-inch variance? Are we giving him
2 foot.
5 feet variance? What is it that we're giving him? And if he's built this on 2 lots, we need to know where that sits on those 2 lots. So I'm not comfortable doing that until we know where his property is and where this structure sits on that property. Even though, I'll bet you, he's further back than some of the other guys. I bet money on that, just looking at it.
If these lots are 40 by 60, that's 2,400 square feet. How big's this house?
760 feet.
Where's your septic field?
There's an existing under this porch part right here that you see where the steps are at,
Are
that's where the existing sewer is.
Are you adding any bathrooms?
Do what?
Are you adding any bathrooms?
We'll have one bathroom, I will have.
One extra bathroom from what you got right now?
I don't have none right now. I will have if we get to,
So-
finish building this.
So what it was like before was a deal for a trailer, just as a dump station?
Yeah, except for, you hook your sewer off your trailer into this septic.
Well, does that not open up stuff for Gary, and since you've got a full-time restroom, or does a dump station act as the same thing? Where's he gonna have his septic field?
I don't want to answer that for Gary, but you can go back into an existing system. If it's working, you can't keep them from using it.
But it has to be sized accordingly, doesn't it?
Well, you don't size by the number of bathrooms, you size by the number of bedrooms. So if it was put in, of course, that's an old development, probably done in the 60s. So I have no idea what's in the ground.
But since he's putting a bathroom in, that opens a door.
I don't know that it does, Stan.
You don't
You would
think
have to talk to Gary about that. Could be another issue. It has been an issue up there in the past.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's an excellent question, because with all those houses in there, there's probably some probability this stuff dumps in the river.
Well, I guarantee you, somebody down farther down.
When you look at how close those houses are, there's probably not room for a septic field. You don't have a sewer system, do you?
I don't know what's in the ground. Everything's there was concreted in, and, all we're doing is building back over the footprint that we had,
So are you telling Stan that your septic field is underneath your porch?
Yes, it's under where them steps are at. That's where the opening is for the septic, right there.
See, what happens, and I'm just thinking down the road, what happens if your septic field stops up, or all of a sudden it runs over? What do you do?
Call Roto-Rooter.
What if it's just due to the fact that it ain't big enough?
Do what?
What happens if it's just to the fact that it's not big enough and it won't handle it? What do you do as far as sewer goes then?
Are you asking me?
Well, anybody.
Well,
I think that's a question.
If your septic is truly failing, which means it's outcropping on top of the ground,
Well,
you have to fix it. If you've got room to fix it. If you don't have room, then it could lead to
We don't know.
condemnation.
We don't know if that's a 200-gallon tank, or a 1,000-gallon tank, or a 3,000-gallon tank, or 10 feet of septic line. But
That's the big issue, is how
But we
much
know we're
septic
getting
fields
ready
you-
to go to a full-size bathroom that's gonna be used every day. And that's gonna put demands on it more than you would if you had a camper on it.
Well, these are all good valid points, but they're not really tied to the variance request.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't see how it could not be tied to it, Roger. How can it be not tied to it?
Well, you don't have any authority over the septic regulations.
Well, does he have to get a permit from the septic guys to put this house?
He would have to get something. I don't think it'd be a permit, because we wouldn't permit anything up
But
there.
how can you have a septic?
Probably a
field?
COV, or I don't know. You'd need to ask Gary Ferguson that question.
I don't understand how in the world you can have a septic field under your porch.
It's probably just the tank.
There's no septic field?
No, Larry, the tank is separate from the field.
Yeah,
It's probably just the tank under the porch.
not the field.
Right, because there is a little space there. I don't know what's in it, or who it belongs to, but there's a little grass there.
That's our grass too. That grassy spot's ours, yeah.
So that's where your field is in, probably.
We hope, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this just a vacation home?
Yes, it's not permanent. No, this
Okay.
is weekend, whenever. And we do have bath shower houses that we use in the campground. So, I'm not gonna be using this, like the Regency deal up here or whatever, it's just,
So you got a 2,400-foot lot, and then you got another 2,400-foot lot. So you got 4,800 square feet. You got 700 feet out of that for your house, so that leaves you 4,100 feet. You
no,
got-
we just got 20 by 40, or 40 by 60 lot.
Yeah,
total.
but you got two lots, side by side.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, it's just 40 by 60 total, not two times.
Both lots is 40 by 60?
No, they're
20 by 30. Each lot's 20 by 30.
20, one of them's 20 by 30, I think, and whatever, you know, the other one's 20 foot, I believe it is. But total is 40 by 60.
So he's got 2,400 square feet
Total.
in a lot.
Two lots.
No, yeah, but the one lot, if you put the two together, he's got a total of 2,400
Right.
square feet,
Right.
period.
Right.
And now his house is how big, 760?
760 is what we're trying
Must
to
be
put
800,
on.
'cause I can't read it.
It's 1,600.
1,600,
Then you got parking space.
yeah.
See, this, and I feel bad about it, but that wasn't designed for houses. It was designed for a campground. And to try to take it and make a house site out of it for that size deal, you can't make a house site out of it. Is that right? Which is why, had it come in here prior to him starting construction, we would come to the same conclusion. It ain't built for houses. Right? That wasn't what it's designed for.
I wasn't alive when they developed that, but it was a lot like, I would think Big Valley.
Yeah.
Or,
But Big
Sundown, or somebody hit one of their minds.
Big Valley's got a sewer system, it's got Sundown.
Exactly. Well, Sun Valley's got or Sundown, or where, it has got a central system. It's, I think, in a common area for the whole development.
That's a lot of work in there, but.
Any other discussion? Yes, ma'am.
The campground, I know we call it a campground, but I bet there's
Could you
not.
tell us your name, please,
Oh,
for the
Pam
record?
Curtis, I'm sorry.
All right.
I bet there's not 5 or 6 campers, and there's probably
There's 40 houses.
40 little cabins. So, you know, even though we call it a campground, it's more cabins. I didn't want you to think that we were the only ones doing a cabin. It's mostly, say, 40 cabins versus,
I think it's kind of like Stan said, it started out as a campground
Right,
and then
yeah.
emerged into a
and I
housing.
think maybe because, you know, there is the flooding that people want up higher, or there is some, I guess you call them big trailers on the stilts. I don't know what you call them, there too, to get up off higher. So we just thought we'd build a little cabin, you know, because of the risk of your camper going down the river, which we're not right on the river. We're at the end of the lane, which, you know, so it's better. But it's still not just a campground technically, even though it's classified as that.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the board? I'll entertain a motion. Roger, can we make a motion pending the environmental
You're not, I don't want to make this, zoning regulations and septic regulations are not, they're two completely different things. We have no jurisdiction over any of the septic issues. He may have issues that he can't get past with the environmental department. But those are separate issues. He's got another issue that he's worked on for me, which it sounds like he's gonna be okay, which is the floodplain regulations. He's backed into this thing after he started construction, and there's issues going on with it, and this is just one of them. You can't base a decision for our zoning regulations based on the septic system.
We have to look at just the zoning regulations itself.
You'd have to find a reason to approve it based on section 11.6 of the zoning regulations in there.
Roger, can't you base it on public health if the septic system overflows into the river?
Well, there's a department to take care of that,
Yeah.
and it's not this one.
But right as of tonight, we don't know what kind of setback he's asking for. We don't know where this house, cabin.
No, that's a
sits on his-
valid point.
We don't know where it sits on his property.
It's like the first one. We
Yeah,
don't know where the lines are.
we don't have any idea if he's asking for if he's within 6 inches of his property line or whether he's within 10 feet. We don't
Yeah.
know.
I can't tell.
If he were to build that house and met all the setback requirements, would he have enough room?
If you met all the setback requirements,
Yeah,
he wouldn't be here.
okay.
Can I throw something else out?
Yes.
Worst case, let's get back to sewer. Worst case, we can put an incinerator toilet in, and, you know, that would be one way to help the sewer deal, if you wanna entertain that thought.
Say that. What you said? Put a what in?
Incinerator toilet,
Incinerator what?
toilet,
Toilet.
yeah. All you do, it burns it, and you get a scoop of stuff out every now and then, and it's biodegradable, it's already burned up.
You put alfalfa in it.
State parks use them, they're all over the place.
Well, for what Roger just told us, I don't think we need to worry about the septic field. It's the dimensions or the setback requirements.
And it goes back to, we don't know where the line is. That's why I would suggest we do the same thing as we did the first one. Request, till the next time we meet and having a survey done, so we have a justification knowing where the lines are on the property. So we can make a determination based on some
At least
some
then.
quantitative,
Right, right.
some quantitative information versus just, it's not your fault, they tell you this is where it's at, but I lived in a subdivision where, yeah, they had the pegs, but they were all wrong. So,
You want to make that in the form
same
of
as
a
a
motion?
motion, yeah.
All right, is there a second?
Read the motion. Oh, I second. Now read.
Okay, what I've got is Bruce moves to, get your mic here, moves to defer and bring back with a survey.
And show the house on that survey. On this plan.
Showing the house.
So we know.
where it's at.
Okay.
Who's that, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I was getting at.
And you second it?
All right. Everybody clear on the motion? Bruce Stamro?
Yes.
Larry Chesney? Stan Hedrick? Rob Walker?
Yes.
Motion passed.
If you can get a survey of that, and that way we'll know what the setback requirements will be.
It doesn't mean that you'll get it, but at least we can make a decision based on something rather than just quantifiable information.
Since the rest of the community is not, only by zoning regulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I saw Rick today, and he did say he had your elevation, so he,
Can't make one legal in there, hold him.
he'd be a good one to get to when you survey too.
Tomorrow, get a survey.
Yeah, he's a pretty good fellow.
He's gonna